You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you might not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
What's up, everybody? Check it out. This week was supposed to be Remember the Game. Check it out. I sound like such a boomer. Check it out, everybody. Here's the 411, folks. This week was supposed to be Remember the Game episode 376, which was going to be Tyler and I revisiting Halo Combat Evolved, which I could not wait to do because it's one of my favorite games of all time. And the first episode we did on it all those years ago was pretty rough. We recorded it in a hotel room. The audio wasn't very good, and I really wanted to give it its flowers. And I decided to make an executive decision, something I've never done before. 5 hours before the episode was supposed to go live, I was working on the intro, and I was like, dude, this just is not going to be good enough. Like, I was going to do it off memory because I was like, I need a game that I don't need to replay because I got too many other games on the go. And I was like, I can do Halo off the top of my head. I've played it half a dozen times, and I'm working on the intro, and I'm seeing how passionate everybody is about Halo, and I'm putting the music in, and I'm remembering how passionate I am about the first Halo. And I was like, God damn it, no, I am not going to do this one off memory and drop the ball and release a subpar episode about one of the best games of all time, all right? So I'm asking for your patience. I'm going to delay Remember the Game by 1 week so I have time to do a quick run through the Halo Combat Evolved campaign again to get ready for next week's episode. I'm still not going to have anything to say about the multiplayer because I don't have any friends, but Tyler will be here and he can carry the multiplayer weight, I am quite sure, okay? So next week, Remember the Game 376, Halo Combat Evolved Part 2. I know there's been a lot of missing episodes lately. I've been dipping into the Patreon archives a lot lately. I apologize. I got a lot going on away from the show, and trying to get through a game a week sometimes just isn't always a plausible thing. So I just ask for your patience. Keep enjoying the episodes. There's 375 of them to go back and listen to in the meantime and in between time, and we'll be back next week with our Halo Combat Evolved revisit. And to help get you through this week, don't worry, I got your back. This is an oldie. I'm going to drop my Halo Infinite campaign review right here on the show. This I originally published back on January 12th of 2022. So, oh my God. I didn't realize Halo Infinite is that old. That's like 4.5 years ago. Holy shit. Anyways, Halo Infinite. I'm going to drop my review here right now. You can have a listen to this. Let me know what you think. And next week, Tyler and I will be here with our Halo Combat Evolved re-review. And then also for the month of June, I'm hoping to cover WarioWare on the GBA. I think it's the first one. It's the one that's on Nintendo Switch Online. It's pretty fun. I want to cover General Chaos on the Sega Genesis. We're hoping to cover Luigi's Mansion 2, and we are hoping to get to The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess right around the end of June, probably right around the show's 8th anniversary at the beginning of July. Those are all the games I'm working on, trying to get through them. But next week it's Halo. This week it's Halo, which is not the Halo you were expecting that I was expecting to drop. But enjoy this. Come back next week for the next one. Blah, 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 blah. Enjoy the episode, everybody. Here we go. Let's get into the Halo Infinite review. I know that's why all of you guys are here. So I am going to cue up some Halo music. There it is. It takes a second to get warmed up. But when that music stops, I'm going to hit you with my spoiler-free review of the Halo Infinite campaign. Enjoy the podcast, everybody. Let's go. How fucking good. How fucking good is the Halo theme. It's just like, oh my God, it fucking turns me on. And I know I don't own that music, and I apologize to everybody involved, and please don't come after me, Bill Gates. I'm just a big fan of your fucking video game franchises, and I'm trying to promote your fucking game. Although, let's see. Well, I don't know if I'm going to promote your game, because I've got some very critical takes of this game. Like I said during that intro there, I have ranked the 7 previous Halo campaigns. It was on expansion pass number 88, so I was only 6 episodes ago. So if you want to check that out before you come back to this one, you're welcome to. No spoilers in that one either. Very minimal spoilers. I break down. I don't do the Halo Wars campaigns. I don't care for Halo Wars, but Halo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Halo ODST, and Halo Reach are all ranked worst to best. And at some point in this review near the end, I am going to tell you where Halo Infinite fits into that ranking as far as I'm concerned. Before I get into the ranking, quickly, Triforce Tony wrote in on Patreon and said, honestly, I've never played one Halo game. That being said, if I wanted to, where should I start? Without question, Tony, start with Halo 1, Halo Combat Evolved. Your best bet is to just pick up the Halo Master Chief Collection. It's on Game Pass. It's also on PC Game Pass. It goes on sale quite frequently, and it contains Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4, Halo Reach, and Halo ODST. They're in release order. Is that chronological? No, chronological is the order of the storyline, I think. It doesn't matter. Anyway, play them in the release order. So, and it's very easy to find online because the games all blend into each other that way. And frankly, there are like game mechanics that, maybe got introduced in one game that weren't in previous games. And if you try to go back to previous games, it can be hard to play them without some of the mechanics, which is admittedly, as I'm about to get into, as I'm sure many of you that have played Halo Infinite can fucking guess, one of the big takeaways I have from Halo Infinite is that there's a certain mechanic fucking added into this game that I never ever want to experience Halo again without. Not only do I want to not experience Halo without this mechanic again, I would like to see them go back to Halo 1 through 5, Reach and ODST, and patch this new equipment into those games because it changes it so much, which is great. The unfortunate thing is that, in my opinion, that might be the best addition to the game, and I think it's semi-neutralized by another big change to the game that I fucking didn't really care for at all. But I'm going to get into all that, all right? I'm probably going to be jumping all over the place here. I wrote my notes. I wrote this review yesterday. Well, these games were fresh in my mind. And yesterday being, I guess, Tuesday by the time you guys be hearing this. And I think we're okay. Anyway, Halo Infinite was maybe my most anticipated game of 2021. Back 4 Blood was pretty high up there. And people have asked if I'm going to do a review of that one. I don't think so. Really, really, really fast. I'd probably give it about a 7 out of 10. I liked it. I didn't love it. Something was missing. They forgot a spice, and it just didn't taste like Left 4 Dead. But anyway, so Back 4 Blood was up there on my most anticipated games of 2021 list. Metroid Dread, once it was like surprise dropped, almost even surpassed Halo Infinite. I was so excited to play it, and that game is fucking spectacular. But the reason that Halo Infinite was so anticipated for me, a big part of it was because it was, if you don't remember, it got delayed by a year. Halo Infinite was supposed to be a launch game with the Xbox Series X and S over a year ago, and it got bumped back 12 months to December, due to obviously development, problems and blah, 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 blah. So I think part of the reason Halo Infinite got so high on my most anticipated games list was because I anticipated it for so long. I didn't know Metroid Dread was coming. Whereas Halo Infinite, I knew it was coming for years until the delay. Then it got delayed and it was like, fuck, all right, take another fucking year. So I was really excited to play it. I like Halo. I have played all the Halo games other than the Wars games. I like them. I will say I like Gears of War better, but I like Halo. And I mean, sure, you can compare them. To me, Gears and Halo are Xbox's Mario and Zelda. Everyone's got a preference. Lots of people like both, but everyone's got a preference. I do like Gears a little bit better, but I like Zelda, or I like Halo. Frankly, the main reason I became an Xbox fan all the way back when the original Xbox dropped was because of Halo Combat Evolved, as I'm sure many of you can relate to. So I actually played through all 7 of the previous Halo campaigns over the last year and change, getting ready for Halo Infinite, like a build-up, like watching all the Star Wars movies before the release of another Star Wars movie. And people shit all over Halo 4 and Halo 5, and I don't think those games are bad. I do think they're the worst campaigns in the series. I guess spoilers for my rankings list, but they're still fun. Like, people make it sound like they're just shit games. They're fine video games. But I had expectations for this one. It had been time, new technology. I knew it was going to be open world, which I thought might be fun. I'm not opposed to open world. It's the first game from a new franchise, or from a franchise that I've been playing forever on new hardware. It's like, the first Mario game or the first Zelda game on a new Nintendo system. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm always excited to see my favorite franchises pop up on a new system, because I'm like, what can they do with this franchise that I know so well with new hardware and stuff like that? So I was really into Halo Infinite. And that's the tricky part with this game, is that the new hardware really did pay off, in my opinion. They did a phenomenal job with the polish on this game. I think graphically it looks superb. I think the sound is outstanding. I played it with headphones on and it was great. The grappling hook, which you all knew is what I was talking about earlier, is fucking insane. It's a game changer. It is a very polished video game, but on the other hand, I just didn't find it very fun. If that, like, and I'm going to explain why in this review, but it was like when you go see a movie and it's like full of special effects and looks great and all that stuff, but you're like, I don't know how much I liked that movie. You know what I mean? It's tough because it's not a bad video game. I just don't think it was a fun video game, in my opinion. Raul, and I'm going to read counterpoints. I'm going to read arguments from both sides of the fence here from our Patreons. Raul wrote in on Patreon and said, I've only played about 3 hours into the Halo Infinite campaign so far, but my early thoughts are that it reminded me of Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. It's a new entry in a series that I've really liked for the linear/narrative experience, but the new one focused more on freedom of play options. So while I might have been a bit disappointed in the new approach, I also can't deny how much fun I'm having with the gameplay mechanics and the expanded freedom. So I'm thinking it'll be a different but still worthy addition to the Halo lineup, and if anything else, it keeps the series feeling fresh. Now, you said a lot there, Raul. I will say, while I don't love all of the changes they made to Halo Infinite, I do like that it keeps the series feeling fresh. I do agree with that. You can't just release the same game over and over and over and not expect people at some point to be like, we've done this. Listen, I'm not shitting on Pokemon. I know a lot of people I like Pokemon. But one of the big criticisms of Pokemon is that it's the same game every generation. It's 8 fucking trainers, blah, 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 blah. So I get that they had to try something new. I respect that. I just don't know how much I enjoyed it. Like, to me, there's 2 massive changes in Halo Infinite from previous Halo campaigns. One is good, which is the grappling hook, and the other tools, which are underrated. Everyone just talks about the grappling hook. We'll get into those. That is a great change. And one is bad, which I think is the open world. I don't like the open world in Halo Infinite. A-Town wrote it on Patreon and said, I haven't beaten the campaign yet, but so far Halo Far Cry has been pretty enjoyable, although I do prefer the old campaign style. And that's it. It feels so much like a Far Cry, but like, the thing is, if you take if this game wasn't Halo, if you took this exact same open world, but you took the fact that it's Halo out of it and just dropped some new franchise in, this game would be a 5 out of 10. Because there's not a lot in this open world has been done so much better than it's done in Halo Infinite. The key is that you're taking these enemies and these weapons and these ships and these characters that you like and dropping them into a new atmosphere, if that makes sense. So I don't even know where to start here. There's a lot to unpack in this fucking game. Obviously, Halo Infinite picks up after Halo 5 story-wise. I'm not going to get too into the story until the spoiler cast at the end, obviously. But you control Master Chief again. And after Halo 5, some people are excited about that. Because if you know, you know. You're up against the Banished, which are a group of the same enemies you've been fighting for like fucking 7 games now. But they've obviously been banished from the Covenant. So they're like rebels of the Covenant. Same grunts and jackals and hunters and the same kinds of enemies you've been fighting. The new main baddie in Halo Infinite is this big bad monkey with asthma, Escharum, who I actually really like. I think he's a great fucking main villain for Halo. Like, you can tell that he respects Master Chief, but he hates him at the same time. He keeps talking about how he can't wait for this epic battle between him and Master Chief, and they're the 2 kings of their respective species or teams or fucking whatever. I might even go as far as to say the best villain in the Halo series is Escharum, because in a lot of Halo games, you don't have like that one particular badass tough villain. A lot of it is you just trying to save the world. and again, I'm not going to get too into spoilers or anything. I actually really liked the addition of Escharum and the way he kept popping up and taunting Master Chief and talking about how he respects him, but he's going to fucking kill him. And really good. I really, really like this villain, Escharum. And then there's some other new characters they add to the game that I don't care for nearly as much. There's this fucking chicken shit pilot who helps you throughout the game. And I'll be honest, I fucking hate him. I hate him. He's just annoying. I get that he's there to kind of keep the game moving because he's flying you around when necessary and stuff like that. But I wish it was just like a self-flying plane or a plane that was flown by like your AI or something and he just was dead. Because I hate that fucking pilot so much. And if he never shows up in Halo again, we've already spent too much fucking time with him. He doesn't ruin the game. He's not the reason I didn't care for Halo Infinite. He's just a really shitty, annoying fucking character.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you might not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
You also get a new AI partner because I'm not going to get into details again, but Cortana isn't around anymore. That happened a long time ago. I don't think it's spoiling to say that. So the new AI you get is named Weapon. She's very much like Cortana. She's a female that's like an AI that's in your head that talks to you and unlocks doors and gives you advice and stuff like that. I didn't really care for her either. I didn't dislike her as much as I disliked that chicken shit pilot, but I didn't care for Weapon that much either. She just came across as, you know what she reminded me of? Navi from Ocarina of Time, but just more advanced. Like she could say more than just, hey, listen. And so that's my first major strike. And I am going to get into stuff I like as well, but that's my first major strike against Halo Infinite is that Master Chief is fucking rad. Love that guy. Escharum is fucking awesome. I still think, plus he's a villain with asthma. I don't know if he actually has asthma. He just coughs a lot, but like as an asthmatic, I can relate to him, plus some people have said that I slightly resemble a monkey, cause I'm hairy and smelly and I love bananas. But anyway, so like Master Chief is awesome. Escharum is awesome. That's if you had make that the game, make it Master Chief versus Escharum, and you got yourself a fucking game. Then you throw in this shitty pilot who fucking sucks, and he's a fucking, I fucking hate him. You throw in Weapon, the fucking AI, who's just nagging you and nagging you and nagging you. And even when she's not fucking nagging you, she tries to be like, I guess cute, like she tries to give you like those like the fucking like cheeky smiles and her smart ass little comments, and I just want I'll fucking delete you, I swear to God. I just fucking you know what she reminded me of, and I don't know how popular take this is gonna be. Aerith from Final Fantasy VII Remake, who some people were like, oh, she's like the coolest character in the game. And I was like, no, she's not. She's fucking annoying. And that's what Weapon is. No patience for those two at all. I don't need the deepest story in the world to enjoy a Halo game. Just tell me that these creatures want to destroy the world and I want to stop them. That's all I need. And if you want Escharum to be the leader of them, fucking A, I'm all for that. But like when you throw in Weapon and you throw in Pilot and you try to give these two characters fucking depth and they both fucking suck. And you know what? It made me miss the Arbiter and it made me miss Cortana from the early games. And if you've played them, Our Arbiter's so fucking awesome. Cortana was rad. Weapon and Pilot fucking suck. I didn't care for them. So now that said, at the end of the day, the story is just there to give you a reason to shoot things. I didn't care for the story in this game that much, but it wasn't, not my main strike against the game. It was just, they're just there to, again, give you a reason to walk around and shoot stuff and blow stuff up. And I will say, to its credit, as a positive to Halo Infinite, for the most part, it is very fun to shoot things in this game and to blow shit up in this game. It plays really, really well mechanically. It's a blast to just fucking light up enemies and grapple hook all over the place and shit like that. Scott Graham wrote in on Patreon and said, I'm loving this game. I have a tendency to go off the track in open world games and lose track of the campaign, and that's exactly what started to happen when I fired this up, so I've made a conscious decision to stick straight on the campaign track, and I'm really enjoying this story. I really like the mechanics around the grappling hook, shield, dodge, sonar, the leveling up of the skills. Overall, they've taken what worked in the previous series and improved it here. Now, one of the things, I don't know if I agree with all of what you're saying, Scott. I fucking hated the goddamn story, but I did love the mechanics. You mentioned it. I have already mentioned the grappling hook, and we'd be remiss if we did not spend a couple minutes talking about this thing. You've probably seen it in the trailers and stuff like that, but for the first time, Master Chief has just got a very simple, retractable grappling hook attached to his fucking arm. It is like game changer almost isn't a fucking strong enough term for how much that grappling hook changes the experience of Halo. Not only can you use it strategically to get around on the map, to climb up walls, there's a ledge up there you want to get to, and instead of walking around the fucking room and finding the staircase to get up to that ledge, you just fucking Spidey, and shoot your web up there, it fucking retracts you up there, and you're up. It's awesome. Not only can you do that, though, you can pick up weapons with it. If you run out of ammo in a weapon, or you see a weapon laying somewhere that you'd rather, all you have to do is shoot it with your grappling hook. You'll pull whatever weapon you just shot in, you'll drop the weapon you're holding, and you'll replace it with whatever the new weapon you got was. There are some, occasionally I fuck myself because I had a really good weapon and I was just trying to grapple into cover or something like that, and I'd accidentally pick up a new weapon instead, but that's on me. You're not paying attention to where I'm grappling. It's a really cool mechanic. There's also all these explosive drums. They're I don't know, I guess they're plexiglass style containers full of energy, and you can throw them at enemies to blow them up, or you can shoot them to blow them up. And same thing, you can shoot your grappling hook at them, pull them over to you. Now you're holding it like a giant grenade, and then you can whip it at enemies and stuff like that. That's great. When you get into the big firefights with a ton of enemies, you can get yourself into cover with the grappling hook. You shoot a wall, it pulls you over to the wall, now you're standing behind the wall. Fucking perfect. Really, really simple. And another thing that is really, in my opinion, kind of underrated about the grappling hook is that you can shoot the enemies. And when you shoot enemies, if it's a weaker enemy, you usually, especially as you start leveling your equipment up, which we'll get into in a minute, you can electrocute them. And then they'll stand there shocked. And as you're so you shoot them with a grappling hook, and then it pulls you to them, and they're standing there getting electrocuted. And then right as you get up close, you just mash melee and fucking whap. And it's so satisfying. Are those fucking jackals, which if you don't know, are those enemies that hide behind those electric circular disc shield things. If you shoot you shoot their shield with your grappling hook, they'll temporarily drop their shield, and then you can shoot them in the head or something like that. It feels so fucking good, man. Some of the most satisfying kills I had in the game were with a plasma sword, and then I would just grapple hook an enemy, pull myself up to them, and then right as I got close, just start hacking with this sword. It is so revolutionary to Halo. It is. I don't even know if I can think of a fucking equivalent. Here you go. In Mario 1, when you jump on an enemy, you can't get that extra bounce off of them. If you go back to the very first Mario, when you jump on an enemy, it just kind of you jump on them and you fall to the ground. That's it. In future Mario games, when you jump on an enemy, you can bounce off them and gain twice the jump you'd get off just a normal jump. Game changer for the franchise of Mario. The grappling hook is that big. It is just, I never ever want to experience Halo without the grappling hook again. And as someone that really likes the old school Halo games, it's going to be tough to go back to Reach and ODST and Halo 2 and Halo 3 and play them without having the ability to use this grappling hook. It's that fucking good. But the thing is, and I didn't know this until I got into playing the game, the trailers only show off the grappling hook. I guess this is a super minor spoiler, but it's really nothing to do with the story or anything like that. The grappling hook is just one of 4 new additions to your equipment that you pick up. As the game goes on, it's not quite Metroidvania because you don't need these abilities to move on in the game. They just are new abilities you can pick up that'll really help you. You actually pick up fallen equipment from previous Spartans, and you can equip it to make yourself more powerful. And the grappling hook is the one you start the game with, and it's easily the one that you'll use the most. But there's 3 other ones. You can get a shield that you drop, which I think is really handy. It's like a plasma shield, and you can just drop it in front of you, and you've just got a nice shield to hide behind that you can still shoot through, but enemies can't shoot through it. They can come through it, they can run through it, but they can't shoot through it. So I found myself many instances where I was in a really sticky situation and that shield saved my fucking ass because my shields, like my armor was almost depleted, and I would just drop the shield and just buy myself fucking 5 seconds. And it lasts for quite a while, actually. It's really good, especially as you level it up. But I just drop the shield and buy myself a little bit of time to reload my weapons and get my bearings and figure, okay, who the fuck, forget the grunts, like where are the brutes, where are the elites, who are the guys that I got to take out first, that kind of stuff. So the shield is really fucking handy. There's also another, for my money, the second best power up in the game after the grappling hook is this like sonar radar thingy that you get. And it's really fucking rad. What it is like a disc that you can shoot out, like you shoot out your grappling hook, but it can go about as far as you can fucking see on the screen. And when it lands, it creates this like transparent kind of dome. And any enemy is hard to say. Any enemy that finds itself in this dome will have a red outline around them, whether they're behind cover or whatnot. And I found myself using this fucking thing a ton. I would go into like a big area, or if I got into a new room in one of the more linear areas, instead of just rushing in and getting fucking lit up by the enemies, I would shoot this sonar disc in there and then just take a second to look around and be like, motherfucker, like there's 2 hunters hiding behind that pole, or there's 3 elites over here, or there's 2 grunts over there that might come running out and fucking suicide bomb me with those plasma grenades. So you can and I played the game on heroic. I've never beaten a Halo campaign by myself on heroic. Some of you might laugh at me. I'm not very good. I usually play them on normal. I would play legendary with my friends, but I went through this whole game on heroic, and I found it very difficult at times. And I think the game is designed, especially on it's probably a lot easier on normal, but on heroic, there's many instances where this game is clearly designed for you to use this equipment as like a failsafe. Like it's designed for you to fucking drop these sonar things into a big room, figure out where all the enemies are, find out where your best cover is, drop the shield in that cover to buy yourself some time, grapple hook all over the fucking place to get away from enemies. 3 very useful tools. There's a 4th piece of equipment you can get that's like a dash, and it does exactly what you would think. You just shoot ahead, 20 feet or whatever, like a really quick little sprint. I'm not going to sit here and say that ability sucks, but I will say that I just didn't find myself using it at all. I use the shield, I use the grappling hook, I use the sonar radar all the time. It's sonar radar, whatever, the radar thing all the time. I did not use the dash hardly ever. And they're very easy to switch between. All you do is on your D-pad, you push left, and then one of the 4 abilities is attached to each of the 4 directions. So like left is your grappling hook, left up is your, whatever. Like I don't remember which way it actually is, but very simple to flip between all 4 of them. And you can upgrade them as you play the game. You can find these things called Spartan cores throughout the game, and it'll cost you maybe 1 Spartan core to take your grappling hook to level 2, and then it'll cost you like 3 Spartan cores to upgrade your grappling hook to level 3. It's fucking video game upgrades 101. And each of the 4 pieces of equipment, the grappling hook, the shield, the dash, and the radar, have 4 levels of upgrades that you can do by going around the map and finding all these Spartan cores. So I love that kind of mechanic in most video games where you pick up not experience points, those are separate, but you pick up, consumables that you can then pump into your equipment to make your equipment better, and then you can kind of build your character however you want. I will say that like less than halfway through the game, I think I probably had all my equipment maxed out, because the Spartan cores are pretty easy to find if you want to go find them. And then I had a whole bunch more, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do with them once I've already maxed out my equipment, or if they just sit there. But I never want to play Halo again without the shield, the radar, and the grappling hook. They are just so handy. And to me, when I've been talking about the polish on the game and what it's just fun to play, and I know it sounds kind of, I'm kind of, what's the fucking word I'm looking for? God damn it, I suck at this. I fucking pulled back on the amount of pot that I've been smoking so that this wouldn't fucking happen to me as much. Contradicting. I was like conspiracing, coinciding, contradicting. I know I'm kind of contradicting myself by saying I didn't think the game was very fun, but it's really fun to play. But what I mean is like the overarching game I didn't think was very fun. But it is a great time when you go into a room full of enemies, or you go into like a base full of enemies or something like that. And there are countless ways to take them all down. You could decide to grapple hook up to one of the guard towers, take out one of the snipers, shoot a radar thing down into the camp, see where the enemies are and start picking them off with your sniper rifle. You could go firing in fucking guns blazing, drop a shield to protect yourself, get yourself into a corner, drop a shield so there's no way for anyone to get at you, and then just start picking guys off left and right. When you combine, the grapple, you pick up a plasma sword, fucking grappling hook an enemy, go right up to him and just hack him down, then drop a shield, turn around, switch to your rifle, and just start blasting guys. Then use your grappling hook again to pick up one of these plexiglass fucking explosive tanks, and then whip it at an enemy. Strategy. Here's a pro tip: the plasma tanks will not go through your plasma shield. Fucking, I tried to throw one from behind my plasma shield, and as soon as it hits your shield, it blows up and it killed me. So just be aware of that. But it's not just classic old school Halo of running into a room and just shooting everything. You can take so many different approaches to how you want to take out enemies, and it's really fucking, I thought it was really creative. I thought those extra tools meshed with all the different weapons and all the different enemies really well. Countless ways to play this game, which it was very neat. That's great. You also find points called fobs. And in classic open world fashion, they're just like enemy bases. You have to go in, you kill all the enemies there, but then you pick up a new base for yourself that you can then fast travel to all over the map. Whenever you go there, you can go to these like artillery like cases, open them up, and then pick from whatever weapons are in the game and change your loadout anytime you want. So you can go out to the open world and do some fighting, and then if you're running low on ammo or you need some new supplies or something, you can just fast travel back to whatever fob point you want and then go pick through Covenant weapons, your weapons. You can get assault rifles, sniper rifles, fucking plasma swords, pistols, grenades, whatever. You pick the loadout that you want, and then you can head out. Not only can you pick your weapons, but you can also pick your vehicle, and that's where Shitty Pilot comes back into play. You can pick a Warthog or a Mongoose, or you can unlock the Scorpion tank later in the game and stuff like that, and he'll just fly in and drop whatever vehicle you wanted to fob. You hop on, and you're fucking on your way, which is really, really neat. And as you play the game, you gain Valor, which is basically your experience points, and the more Valor you've got, you can't level up with it, but the more Valor you have, the more weapons are available for you to pick from at the fob points, and the more vehicles are available for you to have dropped to use from the fob points. So it's fun to be able to take things in like different directions. It's like a giant Halo sandbox, mix and match your weapons with your vehicles for different missions and stuff like that. And there's other missions. It's not just the fobs that you have to take out. There's trapped soldiers, and you can see their distress signals, and you just have to go kill the enemies around them and release them from their they're like shackled in like electric kind of handcuff things, and you can free them and then they'll help you. There's propaganda towers all over the place that you have to take out, and like all like these things do nothing other than gain you a little bit more Valor, which is experience points again, and just kind of let you clean up the overworld a little bit. There's highly ranked banished soldiers all over the game that you can take out, and some of them are kind of neat. The propaganda towers are stupid. One of I think it was McGee, somebody brought up the point of like, why do they need the propaganda towers when they've won? And again, you learn this in the first 10 minutes of the story. I'm not ruining anything. They've beaten you, and you're trying to regroup and fight back. So yeah, he was like, who are these propaganda towers for? The only people that are on this tower or on the Halo ring that you play the game on are either captured humans or the banished, who are already all working together. But the propaganda towers are fun. When you go to destroy them in the game, you just get a few Valor points for them. But they're really funny. You listen to the grunts on these things, and the grunts are the MVPs of this fucking game. They're wonderful. They're so funny. I've always thought grunts are hilarious, but the grunts are so fucking good in this game. Some of the shit they say is just like, I told you I didn't even want to be here. I just wanted to get a regular job. This sucks. Or they're just like, I can't believe I trained a whole weekend for this, as they're running away. Or when you die, they chirp you, and like all the other big bad enemies are just like, that's the best the humans had, or like, you were no match for me, Spartan, and stuff like that. But the grunts are fucking hilarious. They'll say stuff like, we did it, he's dead. I think he's dead. How do you check? And stuff like that. The grunts are phenomenal in this game. And then, like I mentioned, you also take out special targets, which are like high-ranking banished soldiers. And they get old after a while. I didn't do all of them. I did quite a few. When you find them, weapon, your AI will explain oh, this is fucking, Baron von Samdi, and they've killed tons of, one of the most feared elites in the banished army, and blah, blah, blah. Look out. And when you defeat them, they usually have a special weapon that you can't get anywhere else. And then when you defeat them, you gain access to their new special weapon, and then it shows up at your fob. And then again, anytime you go back to your bases, you could decide that you want to take that weapon out on the road with you if you want to. I do want to shout out, there's one in particular, most of these special enemies are big elites and big bad brutes and shit like that. There is one that's a grunt, and it was really funny. You go up and she's like, he's killed a lot of you can't see him yet, but weapons talking to you. They're like, we're getting close to the base of, fucking Frankie McFart or whatever the fuck the banished guy's name was, and weapons like he's killed a ton of our soldiers over the time. Do not underestimate him. And you're expected like a jackal or an elite or something, and then you come over the ridge and it's just a grunt. I love the grunts in this fucking game. So like that's the basic stuff of what you do on the open world. It's classic open world stuff, right? As you play the game, and whenever you take down one of these new bases, these fobs, it highlights all the shit around the fob that you can do. That'll tell you where Spartan cores are, where trapped soldiers are, you can go save, where propaganda towers are, you have to go blow up, where special targets are. It's classic open world, and then you can choose to clean up as much of the open world as you want. But the problem is that like I started to get bored of the open world. Like there was no missions. It was just generic side, like rescue this fob base, destroy this base, go kill this propaganda tower, go save these soldiers. There was no depth to it. It was just the same missions over and over again. And that seems to be the most divisive thing about the game. Riley Turvey wrote in on Patreon and said, I'll be honest, when I started the campaign for the first time, I was a bit skeptical on the open world aspect. However, after a few story missions and side quests, I quickly felt that this is what Halo needed. I really enjoyed the past Halo games, but something they lacked was world exploration. I want to experience more of the place the game is set in, and I felt that the open world really helped that. It didn't just throw me into the mission in one side of the map and then magically I'm in a different location. I actually had to traverse the map myself and see everything it had to offer. If I can compare it to any game franchise, it would have to be Far Cry. Get great environment, interesting villains, and cool characters. I'm very happy to see this change, and I look forward to hopefully a trilogy of games like this. And I respect your opinion, Riley, and you are far from the only one that feels that way. I kind of felt the opposite. I wanted to, and the thing is like off the hop, I was excited. I was like, yeah, because I've played all the other Halo games where you fight through a level and then it just kind of does a side or like a cutscene, and now I'm in a new level. And I was like, I want to see what happens between the levels. And I understand that. But then when I actually got into playing it, I was like, I don't care for this open world system, because this is the problem, in my opinion, with a lot of open world games. It's not just Halo. It's just that it gets very tedious and very repetitive. Like I know when I start an open world game, and two of my favorite open world games ever are Far Cry 3 and Ghost of Tsushima. Those are just two that I think of. And both of those games, when I start out playing them, I'm like, this is fucking epic. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to cross off every side thing, get every little objective, everything. And then I slowly start to realize it's the same shit over and over, and I slowly start to get more tired of it. And eventually I'm like, fuck it. That's me. I start to get bored of it. And the thing is like, at least in other games, like in a Ghost of Tsushima, for example, you get like actual side quests where you go meet someone and they're like, this army fucking stole all our food and we gotta, and at the end of the day, you're still doing the same thing. You're just going to an area, killing a bunch of the same village you've been killing the whole game. But at least you've got a reason to do it. Whereas like in this game, there's literally it's just like, of course, these are all the banished. They've beaten humanity. They've destroyed most of us, and we have to go and just fucking rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. I found it got very repetitive. And the other issue I have with the open world in Halo Infinite is that it's just kind of boring, in my opinion. And I don't mean the repetitive gameplay, because at least it's fun to fight enemies. I just feel like there's a ton of empty space. It's a lot of empty calories. It's beautiful to look at. Stunning to look at. And when you get a hold of a vehicle like a Warthog or a Banshee or a Ghost or something, and you're just ripping around the fucking the fields and up the mountains and along the pass, gorgeous to look at. But after you've grapple hooked around for a while, it just gets old, and it's like there's nothing here. It's just a big empty space. And they wanted to make this game triple the size it ended up being. And it's like, I can't even imagine how empty it would have felt if it was triple the size. Because by open world standards, this is not that big a map. It's big, but it's, you're not getting fucking Witcher 3 or Skyrim or something out of this. And it was just a lot of empty. And it's far from the only open world game that has this problem. Far from it. But that's part of the problem with it, is I got bored of just traversing this big open world. I just started fast traveling to the closest point I could get to wherever I had to go next, so that I didn't have to fucking traverse the giant open world again. Paul Zoe wrote in on Patreon and said, for me, elements of this campaign are about as good as they've ever been. It's like the open world parts deliver on what they were trying to accomplish with Halo in Combat Evolved, but the story missions all felt the same. Even with the gear and the weapons feeling about as varied as they ever have, I was often bored and truly would have gotten lost without an objective marker. And I want to get into that, because not only did I found the open world itself boring to explore, I found the missions kind of boring too, because there's not really any variety. It's just a ton of the same old shit. You go in because you are in this open world, but you go into areas where then it turns into classic Halo where it's very linear, which I personally prefer anyway. But even then, it's just a lot of the cliche. Like, oh my God, the amount of times you go into areas and it's like, oh, we need to take this lift up, but there's no battery in it. So go find a power core, get it, come plug it in, rinse and repeat. Very fucking vanilla and very basic to me. It's boring. It was really cool that you were actually on one of the Halo rings that this franchise is so based around and known for. But like it just looked like Earth. There were just mountains and trees and water and grass. And then when you get into the linear areas, it's fun enough, but it all looked exactly the same. It just looked like this blue spaceship looking world. And you just fight enemy after fight enemies after fight enemies. And I think that was my problem. It was really fun to look at, but it just wasn't fun to play. And in the old games, at least there was like, the fucking admirals and shit would tell you like, oh, we've got to get in there and we got to get this card key or we got to do this to stop this or this is what's happening. There is none of that in this game. It's just you and Weapon going into like, dude, there's a giant portion of the game where all you have to do is go around and turn on these 4 towers. It's not spoiling anything to say that. And the 4 towers are all exactly the same. And it's just like, what the, like no character at all. Just like 4 fucking plain white pieces of bread. Like no toppings, no spicy mustard, just plain fucking bread. And it's really good bread. That's a great analogy. Great fucking bread. The best bread you've ever had, but just bread. And you can only eat plain bread for so long before you want to put a little peanut butter on there or something, Luca wrote in on Patreon and said, I kind of like the fact that the open world wasn't too big or bogged down by quest markers. There's a fairly small number of icons on the map, tiny compared with your typical Far Cry or Assassin's Creed game, and I found that refreshing. I do agree with that. It is nice. You're not going to get overwhelmed. If you're one of those types of people that has to do everything in an open world game, you won't get overwhelmed by Halo Infinite. You open up the map, there's fucking 15 markers, very spread out. They're not all squished in on top of each other. So I'll give you that. As far as open worlds go, to me, it's less about how much is on the open world and just more about how much fun the stuff that's on the open world is. And that was the problem, is there wasn't a lot on this open world, and the stuff that was there, I just didn't find that fun. But if you're the type of person that gets overwhelmed by opening up a giant overworld map and seeing 3 billion fucking icons everywhere, you're not going to get that in this game. Now, the story itself, which I've been kind of tiptoeing around for a while, I did not care for it at all. Frankly, after a few hours, I stopped paying attention. And I just... like the cutscene just didn't do it for me. It's the core game, and I feel like that about some other Halo games as well, but more so in this one. It was like I just want to keep shooting enemies, but like the fucking the story just like I hate my fucking teammates. There's another enemy to go alongside Eshrin or whatever the fuck his name is, the asthmatic monkey. I won't get into the other enemy, but the other enemy fucking sucked too, and it was just. I just, like, at least in previous games, like, a lot of the time it was like, they're going to fire the Halo. It's going to kill everything. We've got to stop them from firing the Halo. But in this one, I'm like, well, I'm on this fucking destroyed Halo ring, and I'm by myself, and I got this naggy fucking AI in my head, and this chicken ship pilot that keeps begging me to leave. And I'm like, why am I still fucking here? This so I can go fight this monkey? Like, I thought the story fucking sucked, frankly. At least, like, there's nothing driving me to finish the game other than the fact that I want to finish the game. Like, the story wasn't pushing me, propelling me toward trying to beat it at all. And at least like in the old Halo games, like I said, there are breaks where you talk to your commanders or you talk to Arbiter or something that is going to keep the story going. This was just, we're on a Halo ring, it's broken, and the angry monkey wants you dead. Once I had my 4 power-ups maxed out, the shield, the grappling hook, the dash, and the radar, and I had the weapons and vehicles that I wanted available to me because I had enough valor. I was like, there's no need to go after the rest of these side missions. I've maxed out the stuff that I want to max out. I don't have anything else. There's no story involved in the side missions at all. They're just go to generic area and fight enemies. And I was like, I just want to get this over with. And I hate to say this because it was such a well-made game mechanically. I just found it so vanilla. Oh my God. Seriously, Ron P wrote in on Patreon and said, the first half of the game I really enjoyed. Collected all the power-ups, freed all the hostages, unlocked all the fobs, killed some of the leaders. I was having a great time. Then I went into what I thought was the last level that went on way too long, and then it took me to the next level, and the next level. And 3 days later, my family thinks I'm a compulsive liar because I keep saying I'm on the last level 3 days ago. The second half of the game was a different game, and I didn't like it. It was way too drawn out. Ron, I can't agree with you more. In addition to just not caring for the kind of bland open world, my other huge problem with this game is that the last couple hours of the campaign fucking suck. They suck straight up. I had absolutely no fun. I just wanted it over, and it just kept fucking going. It just kept going, and it's like they've got this whole other story that they want to resolve, but I was like, this story sucks. Just finish it, get it done, and move on. There's not even like an epic warthog escape scene like there should have been, like there is in some of the best Halos ever at the end. It's just fucking fight after fight after fight after fight after fight of the same enemies for no fucking reason. And every time you think it's over, you go down another hall into another room full of more fucking enemies that you just keep fucking fighting. It's so bad. I played it on heroic, like I said. I started out struggling in this game. I gradually got better. The power-ups really helped me. And at one point I was like, I'm getting very good at this game. But the last couple hours, and it was just wave after wave after wave of powerful fucking enemies. Here's another wave of powerful enemies. Completely uninspired, boring, awful. I hate it. Frankly, the last 2 hours of the campaign of this game make me never want to play this campaign again because I hated them so much. Game developers, if any game developer ever listens to this, nobody just wants to fight wave after wave after wave of your powerful enemies to finish your game. Nobody wants to do it. Think of something else. It really soured me to the point where I have zero interest in ever playing this campaign again. And it was a game where I started out having so much fun. And as the hours went by, I hated it more and more and more. And I know a lot of people liked it. I can understand why people liked it. And I think a lot of people think this game was a return to form. And I agree with you, kind of. But the game should have ended hours earlier than it did. It gets so boring at the end. This open world starts out from the cool novelty of having an open world in Halo to realizing that this is one of the emptiest, boringest, vanilla, plain bread open worlds you've ever seen. And the fact of the matter, as I said off the top, is that if this was not a Halo game, people would be shitting all over this open world. And some people did anyways.
Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why customers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
It's really frustrating because polish-wise, absolutely, this game is totally a return to form. You know, like some people talk about Breath of the Wild and how it's a great game, but it's not a Zelda game. That's how I felt about this. Now, I will see. I'm very interested to see what they do with this engine moving forward because they've got a great template here. It looks beautiful, sounds beautiful. It's fun to play when you've got something to do. Just fill it in now. That's what I want for the next Halo game, is to take what this was and just make it not boring and make a better fucking story. In my opinion, the whole story of Halo Infinite was to just set up wherever they're going next. And it just got, and I don't understand that that's like, good storytelling because you got somewhere else to go after that. But like, this story suffered, in my opinion, at the expense of setting up whatever it is you want to do next. I'll be honest, if I bought, I played it on Game Pass, so I don't feel ripped off or anything. But if I had bought this game at full price in the store, having not been interested in multiplayer and just buying it for the campaign, I would have been very disappointed. I really would have. Not everybody feels this way, though. Listen to this. Nintendo wrote in on Patreon and said, Halo Infinite was incredible. Pro tip on the open world, make sure you have a Banshee. So Nintendo is fucking really digging it. And you heard some of the other comments. Some people really liked it. And to just play it for 20 minutes, it's really fun. But when you sink 20 fucking hours into it and you start to realize that, like, be it Breath of the Wild, be it fucking Skyrim, Fallout, Witcher, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry. I think Ghost of Tsushima, in my opinion, it's one of the worst. Seems like such a strong word, but it just felt like one of the emptiest, kind of boring open world games I've ever played. Dave McGee wrote in on Patreon and said, I'm going to get tarred and feathered for this one. I liked the game. It was far from great, but far from bad. Definitely not Game of the Year worthy. When you're wandering around the open world, you can really tell they removed 2/3 of the game. There's just so much nothing in between missions and quests. I can guarantee that the 2/3 that were taken out were for DLC purposes, which is fine, I guess, unless I have to pay for it. Please come to Game Pass. In the end, I had fun. It was a Halo game, but it was nowhere near as good as the original trilogy. I have zero reason to go back to it now, even when they released the co-op campaign. Also, Master Chief should never be without a hookshot again. And agreed. I welcome all opinions, but if you were to just come in here and be like, this game fucking sucks, I'd be like, you're not even trying. Like you just want to take a shit on this game. This game doesn't suck. I just think it's boring. There's a really good game here, but it's just boring. That's all. It's worth playing if you like Halo, just to see it for yourself. I did a lot of reading online. After I wrote my review, I was like, I just want to see, like, am I crazy? Am I so out of touch? No, it's the Spartans who are wrong. Shout out to anyone who gets that reference. Like, I was like, am I crazy I don't do the reference thing that often anymore. I got to get back to doing that. But I was like, am I crazy to just not like this game? So I did a ton of reading online, and like, there are Reddit threads sucking this game's dick. There are Reddit threads just shitting all over this game, and both threads have just been upvoted to hell. It seems to be very polarizing, which I get. I wanted to love it, but I just didn't. I didn't. It's a great tech demo for what the series could become, but at the end of the day, I just found it boring. And we're going to start scoring this thing now. Ryan Shimmick wrote in on Patreon and said, it was good, not great. I enjoyed the open world for a bit, but after a while, every instance felt the same and I grew bored with it. Once I beat the campaign, I realized that without it, the game would have been 4 to 5 hours long. It was fine being a Game Pass game, but I would have been extremely disappointed if I had paid full price. Agreed. Everything you just said, Ryan. So I like to, like, when I do these modern game reviews, I like to give them legitimate scores out of 10. And it's tough to score this one because, like, I think mechanically and polish-wise, this game is a 9 out of 10. It looks great, sounds great, plays well. But it just isn't fun. The story was a mess. I hated Weapon. I hated the pilot. The open world was boring. It just felt like it was open world for the sake of being open world. And those last 2 hours of the game just went on and on and on. So, like, I'd probably give it like a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10 as far as whether or not it was fun. So I get, yeah, like Dagger Disaster wrote in on Patreon and said, my biggest complaint would have to be the open world. For me, Halo just doesn't click without linear level design. I hate that every game has to be this open world trend lately, but the game plays well enough. It's just not structured correctly for me. 7 out of 10. And yeah, I agree. So I guess, like, if I'm labeling it with a score, I guess I'll split the difference and give it an 8 because I think a 7 is too low of a score for the quality and the polish in the game, but I think a 9 is way too high for a game that I really just don't find fun. So I'll split the difference. I'll give it a reluctant 8, probably in that 7.5 range. Very disappointed because I was again, as I mentioned an hour ago, like, I was so fucking excited for this game and it just let me down. And if quickly, before I start counting down your warnings for spoilers, we're not there yet. If you're wondering where I would rank it, again, expansion pass number 88, I ranked the previous 7 Halo campaigns. If you were wondering where I would rank this game, probably 5th. Probably 5th of the 8. I would say, without ruining the rankings definitively, I would say Halo ODST, Halo Reach, Halo 2, and Halo 3 are ahead of it. And I would say that 4 and 5 are way behind it, with Halo Combat Evolved, which is the original Halo, just a fraction behind it. But yeah, I don't think it's as good as the golden years of Halo. I think that the next one could be, because you've got the engine now. You've got the bread. You've got the delicious, fresh, soft bread. Get some fucking toppings. And now you got yourself a sandwich. There you go. There you got some meat on the bone. Holy cow. I didn't know if I was going to go that long, but that was a long fucking review. And we still have a short spoiler cast to tack on. So this is your first of 3 warnings. I am going to be doing a spoiler cast in about 2 minutes. I'm going to play some music. I'm going to start it fucking right now. Right now. Oh, I had to turn the volume up on that. I'm still learning how to do it computers. But there we go. When this music stops, I'm going to go 3, 2, 1. Then we're getting into your spoilers. So if you want to end it now, thank you for listening. If you want to know what I thought about the campaign and the ending and why I hated it so fucking much, hang around and listen to the badass riff from Halo for another minute, okay? I'll be right back. Oh my god. Oh, I love the Halo theme so much. And when you hear it, like, it's like I put on the same tiers like the Ghostbusters theme. Like when I hear the Halo theme, I'm just like, let's fucking save the world. Anyway, this is your final of 3 warnings, all right? I'm going to talk spoilers. So if you're on the live stream or you're listening to this or you're watching the video and you don't want spoilers, get out. Spoilers start in 3, 2.9. 2.8, no, 2, 1. Weapon fucking sucks. She sucks. And I know I said that in the spoiler-free part, but let's get into why. She just tries so hard. And it just seemed so obvious to me for like 2/3 of the game that she was going to turn out to be the new Cortana. And she's there to fill the shoes of the character that we love. I love Cortana. Like I have so many hours of my life spent saving the universe with fucking Cortana. And I get that she lost her mind to turn into a villain and all of that kind of shit. But it's like, even if you want to give me a new AI to replace her, that's cool, but don't make it so obvious that it's just Cortana Jr., Corju. I fucking hated her. She was just naggy, and it had that open world aspect of like, you're just out trying to clean up the map and do side missions, and she would be like, hey, I wonder what we should do with those spires. We should go check those out soon. And it was like, fuck off. And there's one boss fight that I kept fucking dying in, where you fight that stupid fucking prodigy robot thing. And it was after I'd had the fight with Weapon. And every time you start the fight over, this fucking guy calls in like little like droids to help him. And Weapon in your head is like, oh, he's bringing in his friends. Did you hear that? He has friends. And it was just like, I was like, God, you're not my friend. I fucking hope you get a virus. If it was on me, I'd put you on LimeWire. Fuck, I hate you so much. So I hated Weapon. And it was a big part of the reason I hated the story in this game, because you're stuck with this fucking AI for the whole game. It's your sidekick. And she's just a fucking, boring, shitty character. I tried so hard to be all cute and cheeky, and instead she just annoyed the shit out of me. And that fucking pilot. Fuck that guy. I have nothing else to even say. There's nothing else to even say. Just way more screen time than necessary. Oh, I want to get out of here. I'm scared. Oh, wait, I've got the chief. I've got a plane. We'll be fine. Oh, but the bad guys, they're scary. I just want to leave. I hate you, chief, but please protect me. I miss my family, but I fuck you, chief. And I just was like, bro, just shoot him and end it. You're Master Chief. You can fly the fucking plane yourself. Oh, I fucking hated both of them. And that was a big part of the problem, is you've got these two main allies throughout the whole game. At least in the old days, we had Arbiter and Cortana and the fucking admirals and shit like that. This time around, all I've got is this annoying, nagging fucking wife of an AI and a chicken shit piece of fucking ass pilot that won't leave me the fuck alone. I hated both of them. And the Harbinger. Wow. Wow. I don't understand why the fuck she was there other than to set up the next game, which, like I said, is all I felt the Halo Infinite campaign was doing. Escharum was the best villain this franchise has ever had. He comes across as your equal. He comes across as like the Master Chief of them. He reminded me of the Arbiter. He's intimidating. He's badass. He's awesome. The line after you beat him in that boss fight, which should have been the end of the game, but where you beat him in that boss fight and then he's like dying in your arms, and Master Chief shows him mercy, and that fucking stupid pilot is like, why didn't you kill him? And Mr. Master Chief is like, because he did what I would have done. He fought. I loved it. You could tell it was the mutual respect. This whole game, should have been about Master Chief versus the Banished. That's what it should have been. Should have nothing to do with the Harbinger. Fucking hated him. There's some boss fights in the game that irritated me when you fight that little robot. He kept beating me, which is whatever. Fighting the invisible Spartan hunter with like that super red sword, I actually thought was dope. I thought that was an awesome boss fight. I thought the Escharum boss fight was good. I thought it was frankly as good a boss fight as I've ever experienced in a Halo game. That should have been the end of the game. Then you've got to fight like another hour of enemies. Then you've got that bullshit Harbinger fight, which was fucking terrible. And those waves of enemies in that training area before Escharum, where it's just full of sand and the jeeps and the weapons laying around, and you have to fight your way through all of them. Fucking terrible too. I hated everything from the moment, when this game goes off the rails is the moment you have to go to those 4 spires or whatever the fuck it is. You have to go to these 4 towers and get code from the 4 of them, and then you can figure out like what Harbinger's doing and how they're rebuilding this fucking ring. They get repetitive, and then the game just goes completely in the fucking toilet after that. Up to there, the game's a lot of fun. But at that point, the open world gimmick has worn off. You realize how shitty your sidekicks are. You realize how shitty Harbinger is. You realize how repetitive the fucking game gets. That's where it falls apart, in my opinion. And I understand they had to set up the next game, but you can't tell me they couldn't just found a way to do something like that anyway. The post-credit scene where Atriox, who's the leader of the Banished, finds the rest of the Harbinger's people, the Endless or whatever they're called, and it sets up the next game, cool enough. But that couple hours you tacked on at the end just to set that little part up ruined the game for me. I hated it so much. I wanted Cortana to be the enemy. If you remember, and again, I'm spoiling other Halo games too, but like at the end of Halo 5, you find out Cortana's lost her fucking mind, and like she's a rogue AI who's gonna like reunite all these other AI and go out and destroy the universe. That's what it should have been. I like the idea of Cortana, like, because you find out Cortana destroyed the Banished's home planet too. But like, I thought it would have been cool if the Banished teamed up with Cortana for most of the game, and then at the end, one of them turned on the other one, and then you had to, like, that would have been so much more interesting to me. Like, there was hardly any Cortana, and the whole time you could tell that Weapon was just going to be the new Cortana, and it was just balls. I fucking hated it. And for the love of shit, make your story easier to follow. Maybe I was just dumb. Maybe I'm bored and I just wasn't paying attention. But I had no fucking idea what was going on for about half of this story. Because again, it was missing the cutscenes. In the old games, the chief would talk to the military and the admirals and shit between levels, and you'd kind of get caught up on the story. There wasn't any of that this time. Just, oh, fuck me. Overall, I was just really disappointed. I really was. They've got the great engine. The grappling hook fucking slaps. It looks great. It feels great. It sounds great. Make this story not suck. If it's going to be open world, put some shit in the open world that's actually fun to do. Give me like actual side quests to do. Don't just make it go here, kill all the enemies. Go here and kill all the enemies. Go here and kill all the enemies. And I know people are going to say like, well, that's what you do in Far Cry. That's what you do in Ghost of Tsushima. That's what you do in fucking Witcher. But all those, at least there's some narrative points in them to drive you to go kill those enemies. This one, it was just non-stop fight. The same fucking enemies. Oh, and Halo 2 and 3 proved that this franchise can tell a good fucking story if it wants to. It just didn't. And if you like the game, cheers. I have no problem with anyone that liked this game. If this seemed like a negative review, it was. I just wanted to be honest. I was just really disappointed. I like, for example, Gears 5 was an awesome game that entertained me the whole way. I think it added to the series. It was a great expansion on the series. I want more. Gears 5 has made me be like, holy fuck, I want to play more of this. I felt the exact opposite about Halo Infinite, with the exception of the fact that I think the open world could work if you did something with it. If Halo Combat Evolved didn't have the boring fucking library levels, I probably would have ranked it ahead of Halo Infinite 2. Halo Infinite would have been a bottom 3 Halo for me. And I frankly feel like they maybe put more time into the multiplayer. And, damn it all. I bet you that just came in on the podcast. Did you guys on the stream hear that beep? I'm not editing that out. I'm still learning how to do all this. Apparently, I'm going to have to learn to turn off my notification sounds if I'm going to record this way on my stream. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Point being, I thought it was the 5th best Halo campaign, and I would have ranked it in as 6th if I didn't have to deal with the library and Halo Combat Evolved. Great bread. Make a fucking sandwich out of it for the next one. And fuck me, get rid of that pilot. I hope the next game starts with the pilot getting shot out of the sky. I don't even want to know that he died off camera. I want to see it. I want to see it with my own eye. I want to see him fucking... because I hate him. Anyway. It's been a while since I felt that passionate about a game review. Probably not since like Last of Us. Like that, I had a lot to say about Halo Infinite. So anyway, that is going to do it for this episode altogether. If you made it all the way to the end and you listened to this part as well, thank you. Much appreciated. The chat's saying that they didn't hear. Okay, I got an email while I was talking and it went off my headphones, but I don't usually wear headphones when I podcast. Maybe you guys didn't hear. You guys don't care. Anyway, that's going to do it. So thank you guys very, very much. Don't forget, next week, Expansion Pass number 95 will be the second annual Blanky Awards, the game awards of Remember the Game Industries. Still make your votes. You got a couple of days left. Go to rememberthegamepodcast.com to make your voice heard. It's completely free. You don't have to sign up for anything. It's super painless. And I'll be back next week with that episode. And I'll be back tomorrow with Game Patch if you want to watch that too. So thanks a lot, everybody. I'll talk or listen to it. Fucking whatever. I'm leaving. All right. Talk to you guys later. Cheers. Goodbye.